Hmm.
Hello, everybody. So, welcome our to our new podcast called Our Mid 20s. Our Mid 20s. I am I am Alex Wandia. I am a current UC Merced graduate student. This is currently in my second semester, and I'm one of the hosts for this podcast. Our next host is Edgar. Can you introduce yourself, Edgar?
Hi everyone. My name is Edgar Medina. I am well, recently turned 24. I'm also a UC Merced. Just recently graduated from UC Merced, and I am trying to find a job. So high hopes.
Yeah. So, Edgar, what's up this week? What's
Well,
what's
I guess the main thing right now is, has anyone seen that new Deadpool movie? That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that thing
It's
is crazy big. So far in the box office, it's made $315 million. That's incredible for a rated R movie for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I read it was like one of the top highest gross rated R movies or something. I'm
I think it's the number one, or at least it broke the or broke. It's been breaking records at least.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprising. Really good movie, really funny. I thought it was perfectly balanced between funny and action level. I mean, definitely a movie that is not for kids. That's one thing. It's
I
not for kids.
definitely not for kids. I mean, not to get too rated R ourselves, but I mean, you definitely see Ryan Reynolds' penis at some point.
Did you?
So
I never didn't notice though.
okay, so this is gonna sound weird, but when they were fighting in that scene when he goes all like ugly and then he basically makes the whole basement explode, and they're all fighting and he takes off the gown. Um,
Oh,
I kind of
I
noticed. I knew he was naked because when you wear a gown, you don't wear anything
yeah.
under. So I was like, I was kind of looking for it. I was like, are they really gonna show it, or are they
Okay.
gonna?
See, that's the whole thing. You were looking for it though. I didn't notice, but I think
Oh,
because I wasn't looking for it. I was just focused on the whole fighting scene though. But I
it
mean,
just
I guess if you look for it, you might find it.
it got me curious because I was like, this is a rated R movie, so are they really gonna go for it? Are they really gonna go all out and show his
I
penis?
mean,
So, so I mean, it definitely was there. I mean, it's kind of shade. It's a dark scene, literally like a dark scene. So you don't like it's kind of covered in shadows, but it's definitely there.
well, I mean, next time I watch it, I'll try to find it for sure though. But I honestly I didn't see it though. But how was your experience watching it though?
I had
Anything?
so one thing I was surprising was I went on a Saturday morning, and usually when you at least my experience is when I go watch a movie Saturday morning, no matter what the movie, if it's Lord of the Rings or even the Avengers 2, usually there's not many people there. There's hardly anybody there actually, and I was surprised that when I got there, like it was almost full. Like I couldn't get any good seat. I had to sit right in the front.
Really on
My
a
neck
Saturday
was all like
morning?
up. Yeah, I went in the morning, like at 11:45 a.m.
Wait, but was it like the weekly premiere or?
Yeah, the weekend premiere.
Okay, well, I mean that kind of explains it. There's still a little more.
Yeah, but I don't think I went to see the like all the last three Lord of the Ring movies, The Hobbit, and when I went in the morning, and those movies are crazy popular, and when I went in the mornings, the weekend of premiere, I mean there was nobody in there.
Huh.
So I mean, I thought that was pretty surprising. I thought I was like, well, and the thing too was like there was people there's people like our age, but there was also older people like in their 30s coming and watch it, which I thought was pretty surprising to me. I didn't think anybody, you know, well, I didn't really think uh people in their 30s or 40 were gonna come watch a Deadpool movie, even though he's a really popular Marvel comic character. What about your experience?
Well, mine was, it wasn't bad. Like I went on a Tuesday night, I think I catch the 7 o'clock showing, which is great. There wasn't a lot of people. The only problem I had was this 14 or 12-year-old girl with her parents, and let me tell you, she was annoying. Like, she was laughing at every scene, which, I mean, I understand. I laugh at some of them, but it wasn't like, your typical like laugh. It was like kind of screaming with a high pitch laugh, and I was getting annoying. My friend was getting annoying. Everyone around us was getting annoying because every scene she was laughing at it, and it wasn't. I mean, I laughed at some of them, of course. There was a few scenes where everyone, the entire audience, started laughing. But the part that annoyed me the most was she was laughing at some of the jokes that were not the funniest ones, like the more immature jokes. She was laughing, but when they throw like a funny joke right through her
Mhm.
head, not even make a peep, which kind of frustrated me because some of the jokes was like, they just made a butt joke or they just made this kind of joke, and she was just all laughing really hard, and it was annoying. I don't know why her parents brought her there. I mean, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be rude. I mean, she paid for a ticket; she deserves to watch it. But when I go to the movies personally, I try to, like, be considerate around everyone else. If I'm making too much noise, I
Mhm.
try to keep it down. If I laugh, I try to not to laugh so hard or not to be too loud because I mean, I tend to be loud sometimes. But oh God, she was just kind of ruining the movie for me, and I got really frustrated. I tried to let it go, but man, every single time, like she just without her laughing is like frustrating.
Definitely. I do think this is definitely not a kids movie, and not even like. I think you have to be a solid 17, 18 years old
Oh,
to
you
watch this movie.
definitely. I mean, there were some scenes there that made me feel a little bit awkward watching them. But
Were you talking about the sex scenes between Ryan Reynolds and I remember the co-star's name. Do you? Do you?
she had. I can't pronounce it though. That's the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's Brazilian, but I really can't pronounce it. Let me see if I can pronounce it. Her name is Mar Morena Baccarit. I think I just butchered her name.
I think the first one is right. But, yeah,
Yeah,
the last one was kind of butchered, but
Baccarin is Baccarin.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I think I just butchered her last name, but
I think I would have done the same. So, um, but were those the scenes you were
yeah, there
talking
there were
about?
some scenes that I was like, made me feel a little awkward. But the movie was pretty funny. A lot of action. I love how they broke the fourth wall. For anyone out there who doesn't like that, I personally love it. Made me feel like I
Yeah,
was talking to the characters. Was one of the things I enjoy the most.
I think that was really highlight of the movie. I think that really like I and a lot of Deadpool comics they do that. He breaks the fourth wall all the time. And
Yeah,
the cool part about this was because they added it into the movie, and they didn't, and I think it was a good thing they didn't do it too much, but it made the movie feel like a comic coming to life, you know.
yeah. I can agree with that.
um I also think that I think overall it was a good movie, and I think I'm a Ryan Reynolds fan now. I don't think I wasn't before. I saw Green Lantern, and that wasn't a very good movie. But I think this movie, I think he really is, Deadpool. He really is that character.
Uh, well, I mean, I didn't see the Green Lantern, so I don't I
Mhm.
can agree with that one. But he is. I think he portrayed the character pretty well. I mean, I'm not. I don't. I can't claim myself I'm a big expert in Deadpool, but I feel like he did portray that character really well. Can't wait for the sequel. See what they're gonna do with that,
Oh
and
yeah,
see how he does with that. But
I'm definitely excited for the sequel. And actually, I think it's coming out. I think they have it planned to come out next year. So I think this thing is gonna be like. Hopefully, it's not too rushed, but they do have. Last time I checked on IBMD, it said they have it planned for 2017.
it's started filming or just
No,
release.
I think that's yeah the release date
Oh
somewhere
wow!
sometime 2017.
So they probably started filming already. I mean, they did drop a lot of hints that there's gonna be a second one in the movie. That's like they dropped a few hints on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I hopefully it's not too rushed because I feel like especially with especially when you rush a movie and especially one like Deadpool, where obviously one of the biggest criticisms of the movie that because I've listened to other podcasts detailing or reviewing the movie in detail, or I've listened to some of the IGN podcasts, and one of the criticism was that the story wasn't very good. The plot, it was just kind of the basic, superhero has to save his girlfriend essentially. And hopefully the next script they write up isn't rushed to the point that it's at the same level this one was, or even worse.
Well, I mean, the thing about this one is that they had to portray the origins of Deadpool. Like, they had to show people how he became. So, um, usually, like the first ones are good, but they had to like cover so much into it. How they became Deadpool. You know, why he's doing it, who's the love interest of the movie is. Also, where's the villain appears and everything. So it's just so much to cover it. So I mean, people really can't expect that for especially for a movie that wasn't even 2 hours long. How long was it? Like an hour or something, right?
Yeah, it was like 80 minutes
Yeah.
maybe.
So I mean, they had to cover so much into 80 minutes that they can. People really
Yeah,
can't complain about all of that, since they had to cover like the origins of the story, love interest. I mean, your typical superhero movie.
yeah, definitely. I think interestingly is that a lot of the Deadpool comics, they're pretty ridiculous. The storylines are just, I mean, obviously ridiculous. So I think that criticism of the movie that the script wasn't that great is kind of not fair, because if you're gonna do a Deadpool movie, I mean, it's gonna be a ridiculous story. It's not, some of those things aren't gonna make sense, and if you're trying to make the comic come to life, then the storyline isn't going to always make sense, And a lot of these
Yeah.
movies, the especially superhero movies, the storyline doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, of course, and especially if you're not gonna make it like Guardians of the Galaxy, which was like 2 hours long, then you can't really complain about how the story isn't written well enough, or they can't extend it long enough for you to for people to be satisfied with it.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, and I think that they were like their budget wasn't very big,
Yeah,
So
I think I read somewhere it was like $50 million or something like that.
yeah,
It wasn't,
56.
yeah, something like that. It wasn't like the other superhero movies were like almost 100 million or something. But yeah, this was like, it was, yeah, I think it was around 50 something million. Like you said, maybe 56. I remember it was 50, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think I saw on Wikipedia at least it said 56,
Okay, yeah, then.
but you know what? The one thing I did find funny is listening to another podcast was was that they said that when during the movie where Deadpool keeps forgetting his ammo, this big old
Oh
ammo
yeah,
bag.
I was so disappointed. I wanted to see his
Yeah, actually,
see.
one of the reasons they did that, they essentially made him forget his uh his his ammo bag
Ammo.
was they didn't have the money, or they didn't have the budget to include all that stuff, so they had to, like, I guess,
Oh,
make him forget it. They had to write that in.
okay. That explains a lot though, because I was so disappointed. Like the first one, I forgot my ammo bag. I was like, okay, well maybe we'll catch him in the next scene. When he's go out, like, and when he goes and fights crime again, and then they start doing
Yeah,
the whole flashback and meeting how he met his girl and everything. So I'm like, okay, well maybe they're not gonna show it. But then the last 20 minutes, he started getting ready to go save her, and I'm like, okay, so we're gonna see him do his ammo, and then forgot his ammo again. I was like, so sad about that. But I guess that explains it. Though. I couldn't figure it out why it was a joke that he forgot his ammo twice though.
yeah. Me too. I thought it was funny, but I was like, wait, what the heck? Why isn't he? I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah, because it was kind of weird
it was
that
a funny joke though.
yeah, it was a funny joke, but it was weird that they did it twice, like in the beginning of the movie and at the end. Which realistically, in a timeline, he does it like pretty close together. The
Yeah,
way
I was like,
Yeah.
So disappointed with that. But I mean, it makes hopefully for the next one they have a little bit bigger budget and he can like go go gun blazing with everything and
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping it. I mean, yeah, I think the next one, I think the budget's gonna be probably well over 100 million. So I think they're
yeah.
gonna be able to do a
I
lot
mean,
more.
if this one did pretty well, they probably have high hopes for the next one.
Yeah, yeah. I think one thing I didn't really like about the movie, but it's not really a criticism of the movie, but it's a criticism of kind of how they portray, like, the Indian driver, he had the typical Indian voice.
Oh yeah,
um I didn't I was like, why can't they just have a regular guy, or like just if it's going to be an Indian guy, just make him have a regular voice. It doesn't have to sound like he's, you know uh he just came from India or something. I thought it was kind of, because I've never really encountered that many Indian people that have the accent. They usually just speak very well English.
yeah. Well, that's a good point. I honestly I didn't thought much of it. I just like
Yeah, the only reason
figured it was just cab driver.
the only reason I'm bringing it up was because the movie, or the show Master of None.
Oh yeah, I was just
They
thinking of
had
that
a whole
actually.
episode on that.
Yeah. I was just gonna. I was just thinking about that. They do make a whole point about that in the show. Oh, there's like
Yes.
they cast specific people for that specific one role. Yeah, yeah. No. I was just thinking about that too.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the only reason I brought it up, actually. And I really commended that show for doing
Yeah,
that episode, because it makes
great
sense.
show.
Okay, so let's move on to our second topic. Well, before we do, I think this is pretty easy, but I would recommend the Deadpool movie. Would you,
I
Edgar?
definitely would recommend the movie, but again, just don't take your little brothers or your kids to see it. It's not for little kids. I can't stress that enough. It's not for little kids. I don't know if any one of you guys heard this online or saw this, but there was this petition going around. This mom started this petition for his 7 or 9 year old kid, like to he wanted to watch it. He was a big Deadpool fan. Again, I don't know if the kid was sick or anything like that, but I just skimmed the article and just read. I didn't read the details, but like her she wanted the studio to lower the rating to a PG-13 instead of rated R, which
Mhm.
was, I mean, the movie was like coming out premiere in 3 weeks, so they couldn't definitely. The movie was out. It was completely edited. It was done. I mean, it was
Yeah.
kind of a little ridiculous for her to petition that, but I
And
mean, like I
yeah,
said, I don't know what was I don't know what was wrong with the kid. I just remember reading skimming the article.
yeah.
But yeah, this it. Hmm?
Actually, it's kind of interesting that you say that, because the Deadpool comic is like more of the mature kind of
Yeah,
comics. They're not very, like, it's
they're
not a
not
kid friendly comic.
exactly. That's when I thought, I'm like, how is this um this 7 year old or 8 year old kid a big fan of Deadpool if the comics are really explicit.
Yeah. So that's a little strange, but maybe he just watched the Spider-Man show on the Disney Channel, Disney XD, and they did. I did watch that show, and they did have Deadpool, a Deadpool episode, and
Oh, maybe
so
from
they had
there.
like I guess they had like a PG version of Deadpool, and maybe all the kids love that version of him. So maybe that's where the
I mean,
kids saw him.
because Deadpool is kind of like the adult superhero for everybody. Like every like most teenagers. I mean, I was having this conversation with this kid on a train ride. He was like, what, high school kid, just about to graduate high school, and he was telling me how the only superhero he loves is Deadpool, just because he's kind of more an adult themed superhero, which
I,
kind of
mhm.
which was a little surprise of how this younger kid was a big fan of Deadpool. I was like, okay, yeah, this. I mean, I don't know if this is a show or they made a show, like a PG, like a cartoon show with it about him, but I don't know about that. I don't know how he became a fan of it, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it definitely is. Okay, so to move on to our next topic, so our next topic is kind of like the main topic of the show, and
See that?
it's sorry,
Sorry, what?
Edgar? Oh, sorry.
No,
Did you? Can you? Uh huh.
no, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were about to say something. So our next topic is like the main topic of the show, and I think a lot of people have heard this, a lot of sportsmen. But Ronda Rousey this week was on the Ellen show, and she talked about they discussed basically her loss to Holly Holm 3 months ago, and and during the interview, she basically said that after the loss, when she was in the medical room, she basically had suicide thoughts because she didn't know what she was if she wasn't this undefeated fighter. and I've listened to a few podcasts. I've listened to a few people talk about this, and my kind of view on this is that Ronda Rousey is kind of like this special type of athlete, and kind of like Michael Jordan, and in the sense that they both have the same mentality, that they definitely don't like to lose. They don't like it, and they really can't accept it, in the sense they're not really good losers. And more than that, they both have this mindset that they kind of they do their best work when they feel like they've been disrespected or the world's against them, and they really create these kind of I don't know, in a sense, these like they basically lie to themselves that people are against them, or someone looks at them the wrong way, that that person has something against them, and they're going to prove them wrong. And the reason I can say this, or I feel like I this is the way they think, is because that's how I thought when I was in high school and in community college. So to give you guys a brief background, was when I was in high school, my first year and a half, I didn't do very well, and then I flipped the switch and I started doing very well in classes, getting A's and B's. And one of the reasons I was so successful was I had this kind of mentality that the world was against me, that people people were against me. Some of my classmates were against me, and I had to prove them wrong. Some of the teachers were against me. I had to prove them wrong. I had to show that I'm basically worthy or better than them or whatever. So I was very determined. And the reason I think this topic is very interesting is that's I think a lot of people, especially on ESPN, there's a lot of commentators that revere Michael Jordan's determination to win and his that type of mentality. But I like to say that that's not the best mentality in the world, because it really does that mentality can push you forward. And this stands for a lot of mentalities. That mentality can push you forward to great things, yes. But at the same time, if you don't keep that in check, it can push you in other directions. And I and I think it's no secret that Michael Jordan was a great basketball player, and he won a lot and everything. But I mean, he wasn't. He cheated on his wife multiple times. That's no secret. I mean, Kobe Bryant did the same thing. Has the same kind of similar mentality. Cheated on his wife a lot. Shaq, same thing. Magic Johnson, great player.
Magic Johnson.
Great.
Not
He
forget
had
about
this.
him.
Everybody loved Magic Johnson and his determination to win. His like that fierceness of him. And and the thing is that, I mean, he got HIVs, and it wasn't from his wife. I mean, he cheated on his wife multiple times. So I think that's the thing. And I'm not saying that if you have that mentality, you're going to cheat on your spouse or anything like that. I'm just saying that can push you over the edge. And to kind of relate this to school, I mean, for me personally, I pushed myself so far that I didn't really have a social life. I didn't really go out with the friends that I had. I would always tell them, no, I'm busy. I got to study. I got to do this. And that really stopped my kind of social growth and being able to being comfortable talking to people and to new people I met, being able to put myself out there. And I think that kind of goes to show that, those type of mentalities that push you forward, the kind that you have to use like anger and kind of that like anger to push you forward, and to make sure that you don't always just use that or just that determination to keep going forward. Make sure you don't let that take control of you. Much like people say, don't let fear control you. Same kind of thing. Don't let that determination control you. Kind of in school, I mean, Edgar and I both kind of have experience with this. in the sense that we know a few people that would take Adderall just to push themselves to pass a class or get an A or to
Yeah,
get
no,
to college.
there was a lot of those things in my classes. There was kids who were just only focusing on studying, focusing on trying to prove themselves, that trying to prove everyone that they're the best, and they were always on arrow, or always trying to, like, always up super late, always up on arrow. Like, I mean, come on, there's only so much you can do until you start, like, if you wanna be the best, and then you start taking drugs to help you out with it. Like, that's just a whole new level for that, though.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, like that's yeah, and that's kind of taking things to a whole new level. Just keep pushing yourself over and over. And I think with Ronda Rousey's case is that she pushed herself to that such great heights that I guess she wasn't very balanced. She never thought, like, I mean, people that say they don't think about losing, I think there's a problem with that. I think you have to think about losing,
Yeah,
think
see,
about failing.
uh,
It's a good part. It grounds you
that
in a sense.
exactly, that's the thing, though, because people who do that, who never experience, never lose at anything, once they get defeated for the first time or lose at something, it hits them like hard. They get devastated, they get suicidal thoughts, they kind of fall apart with it, compared to other people who, who don't who I guess I don't say lose a lot, expect to, yeah, but they learn how to feed and moving forward, compared to people who just, they never experience the fear, who they wanna be, no, and then once, and that's very serious, though.
Yeah. Definitely. I think definitely, like, once you could push yourself so far that you could have those thoughts once everything goes wrong, and I think you have to think about uh like, you think about the worst case scenario. Don't go to the extreme where everything falls apart, but think about what could happen if you lose, if you fail a class, if you don't pass. It's not always the worst thing. I failed a class, and it wasn't the worst thing for me. I just retook it, and I felt like I learned more because I had to retake it. And I think that's just true. Just if just think about the worst case. Don't think about the worst case every now and then. Don't always think about there's no point of there's no losing's not an option. Losing's always an option. It's it's always there, but but just keep a healthy balance. Don't veer off too much to the left or right. Find your balance, and the balance is different for everybody. But just make sure you find your balance and you don't go too far. I think I think one of the things that was uh, I think related to school, a lot of people have these kind of have this kind of determination, and they should really think about grounding themselves and just take a break if it's just taking a break or just relaxing a little more. It's not the end of the world if you don't get an A on an exam or a B. I should know. I've not always gotten A's, and I've pushed myself to get those A's, and it's very, very stressful when you push yourself so much that you don't get what you want. And I think a lot of the time, it could push people to do things that are crazy, like, or not crazy in a sense, but a little too much. Like,
Too
you could
extreme,
get
I guess.
too extreme. Yes, exactly, too extreme. Like, this is why I think some people have anger issues, is they lose, or in a sense they don't get what they want, and they kind of go haywire.
Yeah, they don't know how to cope with losing.
Yeah,
They can't process it properly, because they never, I mean, they never lost anything, so they never experienced that. So it's something that everyone needs to experience. So in order for you to grow as a person, you need to, experience how to be able to handle defeat.
exactly. I think that's perfect. I couldn't say it better myself. Learn how to handle defeat, and yeah, exactly. Learn how to handle defeat, and just be okay with it. I mean, you don't have to like it, but just be fine with it. It's gonna happen. Everybody loses at one point or another. There's nobody that's undefeated. Someone's
Yeah,
always lost.
there's always gonna be someone that's better than you, though, and you just gotta learn how to deal with it properly.
Yeah, and we're not here saying that hey
Try to learn
that
that.
sorry.
No, you were saying?
Oh, yeah, we're not here saying like, hey, this is like it's we're not here saying like don't try your best. We're just saying like go try your best, but be okay with the results that you get, good or bad. You know?
Yeah, exactly. We're saying like if you lose, don't just give up and like go to the extreme. Keep try it again. There's nothing wrong with losing. It's just the way you process what's wrong with it. Like if you get defeated and just give up on everything, like no, what's the point in there? If you lost, that's yeah, that's and not with giving up to give up, thinking of and then not try to if you lose, don't go to extreme and start getting suicidal thoughts and then you because that's not the answer for it. That's not what we're trying to say. You lose, you pick yourself up and try again.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Couldn't say it better myself. That's a very perfect way to put it. And and I think uh yeah, I think it's perfect. I think, and also I think that's why you have friends. That's why you have family members, parents to talk to about this. If you feel like you have suicidal thoughts, or maybe not even suicide thoughts, you're just so bummed out that you didn't get an A on an exam or whatever, you lost at something. Just talk to somebody about it. I think it's a good way. I think talking to people, it doesn't have to be a professional, but just someone that will listen and just basically listen and say like, hey, it's fine, it's whatever. Like as long as they're listening and they care about you and they care, I think that really eases the pain of losing or failing at something. It really just relaxes you, and I think that's something people students really should do a lot, is don't be afraid to talk to people about the way you feel about something. uh, if you have to vent, let it out. We all need that person to be there to hear us vent or just scream at the world.
Yeah, there's just always those moments when you don't want to have a breakdown. Get it out before you start a breakdown because having a breakdown is probably not the best thing because then everything becomes worse and then you have a panic attack and that's just panic attacks are the worst thing to have because everything
Yeah,
just seems like everything's going downhill when in reality you're just making a big deal out of everything.
no, definitely. And I think that this is something, I hope people don't. This is one thing I don't like about ESPN is, or what kind of change the kind of go on to a little different topic. But the thing I don't really like about ESPN, or maybe like athletes that are analysts, is that they, or any like really any analyst, they always rave about a certain athlete's competitiveness and stuff. But the thing is some people like they yeah, they like revere how, oh yeah, this person doesn't hates to lose and he's so competitive and that's so great for his team. And then they kind of like throw the person that doesn't like to lose or is pretty much okay with losing and doesn't, and even though he plays just as hard but doesn't have that kind of extra extra kind of extra gear in a sense. They kind of throw him under the bus, and I think I think that sends the wrong message to people, that it's that if you don't if you're okay with losing, then you're not as good as somebody else that's not, like you're not as competitive. I think that's completely wrong. I think you have to be okay with losing, and I think you can't be such a sore loser, or you don't have to be as competitive as the next person. I mean, be as competitive as you want, and I think that's something. I mean, personally, me, I don't really like how ESPN kind of shows how they love Michael Jordan's competitiveness, because I think I heard this one time was that someone actually said that if Michael Jordan had to step on a player's throat to to win the game, he would do it. And it was like, what in the world? Are you seriously saying this on air? It's like, I mean, a little kid could hear this and he could literally step on the next kid's throat when they're playing a game, and it's crazy. I mean, it's just absolute. For me, I think it's kind of crazy to kind of revere that. I think it's better to say like, hey, find a balance, find whatever works for you. Don't always try to be like Michael Jordan. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. You don't try to be the next Ronda Rousey. Try to be the next you, whoever that is. And I think that's the what I really like. Trying to get to the heart of the issue is be fine with losing. Talk to people about when you have problems or when you fail at something. If you don't feel very comfortable with it, talk to people to kind of let that pressure out and not to let the pressure get to you, and try to be who you are. And if you're as competitive as Michael Jordan, then great. That's great. But make sure you're always aware of yourself and your actions, and that you don't go too far. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you would like to add, Edgar?
Well, I mean, it just said just just learn how to cope with the loss. If you lose something or anything, don't go too extreme and try to get suicidal thoughts in your head, or try to end your kill yourself because you lost. Just learn how to deal with it properly. But if you are in that process, or if you're stuck in that mindset that if you lost and you need to kill yourself because of that or something, there's help that you can get. You can always go to suicide. You can always go to suicide prevention lifeline.org, or you can call their number of 1-800-273-8255. They're it's 24 hours, 7 days a week. And I mean, if you think you're at that step and when you really need professional help, talk to them. They're completely free. But don't try to go to the extreme. Like just let's like learn how to process losing something properly, not just jump to it. Like no, don't go to extreme. Let's just learn how to do it properly.
Yeah, definitely. I think you'll be a lot more happier that way. Find a balance in your life, whatever that balance is for you. It's different for other people, but try to find that balance. Because interestingly enough, uh, in the interview as well, I think Ellen asked her like, "Who would you like to fight next?" And she said, "Obviously Holly Holm." And they kind and and one of the things was Ellen was like, "Well, Holly's gonna fight before you. Are you obviously wanting Holly to fight to win her next fight so that you're the one able to beat her?" And she's like, "Yeah, definitely. I wanna be the one to beat her." And then Ellen was like, "Well, poor Holly Holm. Like Ronda Rousey just wants to beat you up." And then the thing I thought was interesting was Ronda's response was, I don't feel a
Yeah,
damn
she doesn't feel bad for her though.
yeah like at all. It's like,
At the
dude,
end,
yeah, go ahead.
no, you said
Yeah, I was like, dude, are you? I kind of thought that was kind of weird because it was like she's not really humble, is she? She
no, she's
doesn't.
not. I No, she's not. She's upset that she lost to her though. I mean, she was. I mean, was she on top like for like so many years, and someone actually just took her down?
Yeah, and I think it's okay. I think it's okay not to be. I think it's okay for her to be upset, but I mean, it's not okay if you're like if because I could tell like the way she said it, the look in her eye, the look on her face, it was like I I'm not over this loss whatsoever. And I think if I think if she's not over it, she's not gonna do very well. I think you have to get over it and you have to process the loss and just be okay. Because another thing is if you don't if you don't process the loss, she might not see the mistakes again when she does the fight. She's not gonna see that her footwork wasn't as good. She's only going to see what she could have done, and
Yeah,
that's not good enough.
yeah. She's not gonna learn from her mistakes. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. You kind of have to accept. You have to accept your mistake. You have to accept your flaws to learn how to basically fix them.
Yeah, yeah. How can?
And one thing I found interesting too was in the begin or in the big kind of in the beginning of the interview, she said that she was knocked out on her feet the very first punch, and I was like, I kind of found it interesting because I was like, that was the you were like knocked out on your feet on the first punch. I was like, I mean, like that's kind of scary because in the next fight, there's a pretty good chance she's gonna get hit just like that, exactly hard, and it wasn't. And I'm kind of scared that she can't really take a punch. She's not built to take punches. It doesn't. It kind of scares me because I feel like it's just she's gonna get knocked out again.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, a lot of that was that she was pretty confident about that fight. Which I mean, confidence is not always means that you're gonna win though. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
She was overly confident that she was gonna win the next one. I don't know if I remember that she was like making a lot of big deal saying that she was gonna be the one who to win, wasn't she?
To what?
I remember that she was making a big deal that she claimed that she was gonna win the fight and everything. She was like pretty confident about that.
Yeah, I think yeah, I really appreciate you saying that just because you're confident doesn't mean you're gonna win. And I think uh, I really appreciate that because I kind of learned that kind of later in life because I was in high school and a little bit in community college. I was really confident about like I mean getting A's in exams. I would always go in like I'm gonna get an A. It's gonna be easy. And I think that the thing is like confidence doesn't mean you're gonna win. And I think I learned that from some of my friends, like, hey, dude, like just because you're confident doesn't mean you're gonna do this or that. I
Exactly.
think you really have to be prepared, and you can't. You have to be prepared. You have to see the flaws that you have, and because if you see them and you can fix them essentially. And I think that's uh, and I think that's very valuable to learn. I think especially when we're young, we just think if we're confident, you can get it. And I think that's something they teach little kids really early in life is be confident, and you can do it. And it's kind of like I think it kind of goes back to that old book, the Choo Choo Train. I think I can. I think I can. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Thomas the Train?
Um. I
Feel
actually I can't think of on the top of my head though. What is it?
Yeah, it's Thomas the Train. Yeah, and I think that's something you have to realize. Like it's confidence is good, but you have to have something more than that. You have to have like the preparation. You have to be able to kind of see yourself from a 2020 perspective and see how good you are and how not so good you are. That's the only way you're going to
Yeah, no,
improve.
wait. Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna learn from your mistakes and see what how can you fix your mistakes basically and improve from them, become
Yeah,
a better person and everything.
definitely, definitely. Um, so I think we've talked enough about that 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 Ronda Rousey. Well, not just specific, not exactly Ronda Rousey, but the whole mentality and the pressure of school and the pressure of winning and not letting your mentality get you too far. I think we've talked about enough about. I think we talked quite a bit about that. So how about we go back to a kind of a lighter topic and we talk about something new. So what's kind of something on your mind, Edgar? Something coming
Well,
up.
brother, the thing that I've been thinking a lot was the new season of Archer though. That it's I've been seeing a lot of the previews and all those teasers, and it looks pretty good though. It looks. I'm excited about it. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the teasers or the smoke clips they show, but basically they're going to Hollywood and they're gonna become PIs, so private investigators, and I believe Zero is gonna be in charge of them or something, which makes it even more really excited to see what they're gonna do with it, like how they're gonna go with it, because the last. I don't know if you guys have been following Archer, you guys can see that they've been all over the place. They started with the whole the whole spy company, and then they move on to being the Archer Bias, where they were like, I guess technically drug lords in a sense. They most like yeah, pretty
Yeah,
sure they were
they
drug
were
lords,
drug
but
lords.
they were drug lords.
Not very good
And then
drug
they
lords,
move.
but they were drug
Yeah,
lords.
exactly, not very good drug lord. Because oh my god, that at first, honestly, that season wasn't my favorite at first, but then I rewatched it again and I liked it. I liked it. I hated Pam at first when I saw in that season because she was pissing me off, man. Like, come on, like she
She
was
was eating all the
literally pissing
drugs.
me off in every. Exactly, she was just literally pissing me off. But once I saw it the second time, my God, though, no, that was amazing. I love Pam. And then the newest season was they were hired by the CIA or they were a branch of the CIA or something.
Yeah, I think I really I really feel like if you I really feel like people could watch that season of Archer. I think it was season 6 or season 6, right?
Yeah, season 6. No,
Season 6. I feel like you can watch that season 6 and basically figure out what not to do as a drug lord. Don't eat your product. Don't try to like.
It's season. That one is season 5. It's season 5. Sorry.
Oh, season 5. Oh,
It's
season
season
6
5.
is when they get back
Yeah,
to the spy
yeah,
business.
yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the hypothesis. Yeah, exactly. They kind of give lessons how to be a drug lord 101. First, don't be high in your own supply though, because that's exactly what happened.
Did they? I don't think I don't remember the whole season. I don't remember the whole season, but did they say how much of the cocaine Pam actually ate? Because I know, like from season or from like episode 3, they would say like she ate so much, and then or something.
I don't remember how much the cocaine she ate, but I could rewatch it and probably tell you guys by next week. See how much I ate, but it was a lot. Like
she was like downing that stuff like crazy.
Yeah. She was eating it, like glazed donuts, kind of eating it.
Damn. I haven't seen the latest season or season 6.
The latest season was good though. It's 5. No, 6. Yeah, 6. I'm not sure. I keep losing track of that. Yeah, the last season was good. The only thing we did a little bit of setup. Won't put it till a week before the new one premiere, so it's always kind of annoys me. Because I have watched the seasons multiple times, and I really want to rewatch that again. And I don't like so finding it online and just watch, because it's to the house. Why go to the house if I have it on Netflix?
Yeah.
And that's the only problem I have with that. It's just they take forever to put it on. And actually, I've been reading, some of the comments people put on the subreddit of Archer on Reddit is that it's in other countries. They already put it on the season 6 or something. It's been there for like months.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, I think England don't quote me on this though, but I remember someone saying that it's been in England for like, but it works. Netflix put on their show. It has to do with the copy. I don't know how they do it. They're just weird.
Yeah, it's crazy because I have a Hulu account, and one of the things is Hulu doesn't really have very many good movies. Nowhere near like the amount Netflix has. But
Netflix doesn't have any good movies at all, too.
No, they don't. They used to, but
yeah.
But one time I logged on to I went to the website for the Japanese version of Hulu, or that website, and dude, they had like movies that were like just barely came out. It was crazy. I was like, what?
Yeah, no. My brother was in Mexico a few months ago, and he asked me for my Netflix account because he was bored there, and I'm like, yeah. So I gave him my Netflix account, and him and my cousin were watching using my Netflix account, and he told me there was like a bunch of movies and shows that they were not here. Well, then again, Netflix, Mexico is the second biggest market for Netflix in the world.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. After the US, and they're the second biggest market for Netflix. So it's and he was telling me there was like a bunch of these movies, and I forgot what other shows he was telling me, but there were a lot of the stuff there, and I couldn't even watch it.
Yeah, oh man, Netflix. I mean, if we're the #1 market, come on, at least get us all the movies.
It's just weird though. I don't know how they do it though, but gotta do a little more research on that and just have a whole episode on how that works.
Oh yeah, we should. That would definitely be good.
Explain how episode.
Explain how Netflix works, exactly how the movies get on there, or even like get into the Hulu and the Amazon, how that works.
Yeah.
Because I actually have Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Netflix, and it's something I find interesting is some of the movies some of the movies come out for both of them, like Hulu and like for example Hulu and Amazon. They both have Transformers, the latest Transformers movie and the Hunger Game movies. Like, but they actually I feel like they came out on the exact same day. And sometimes if I feel like it happens exactly for Netflix and Amazon Prime. It's kind of weird. I don't
Yeah,
know how it works.
I don't know. I actually don't know how that works either though, because I at one point we had yeah. When I was back in my last year of college, we had um Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix. Well, actually, two different accounts of Netflix and HBO Go, and there was still nothing good to watch.
Oh
I
my god.
I remember sometimes sitting on the couch going through everything, and there was still nothing good to watch.
Oh my god. I feel like we have to put a disclaimer that we aren't we aren't rich guys or
No, we're
anything.
not. We're not. We're just
And
we're,
a disclaimer that hey, like, you know what, this happens to a lot of people too. Like you could have you could have Showtime, HBO or whatever, like all these things, and you're not gonna, so a lot of the time you're not gonna find anything good.
no.
So
I mean, I the thing is, we use the trials, a lot of the trials.
mhm.
So we had like the 30 days or the week trial. So we at one point we did try that out when we were living in the house, and there was still nothing good to watch, because we tried out with the new to watch the Game of Thrones. That's when we got HBO. Oh no, yeah, we got it to watch Game of Thrones, because I remember they were doing HBO Go was just giving you like the 30-day free trial. So we got that, and then one of the guys had like an HBO Prime account, so we just set that up, and then everyone has Netflix, so we set that up Netflix account, and I also just to us, and we were just checking it out, and there was still nothing like, I don't know, there was nothing good to watch.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like sometimes I find it so hard to pick something. I mean, I do find it easier like on I find it easier uh when like during the beginning of fall and the beginning of like the spring semester, especially because shows are coming back, new seasons, or they're coming back from their mid-season hiatus. So I
Yeah,
like on.
that was a new show. And you just yeah, and but the problem with that is that they add the new shows on Netflix or on Amazon Prime or Hulu, and then one weekend you just sit through it, finish it all, and then you're like back in square one.
Well, I
Like
mean
I remember,
at least for me with Hulu, like on when like I usually watch Superstore every Tuesday because it comes out on Monday, but I don't get it till Tuesday. So I usually always watch it on Tuesday. It's pretty easy for me to to. I mean, I like the show, so I was just okay. It's a new episode. Let's watch it. You know,
I
but
mean,
when that summer comes, or like at the end of the at the end of the fall semester, man, it's so hard for me to choose something to watch.
yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, when I was so excited at the beginning of the year, because they added the new season with Sunny, they added new shows, New Girl.
Hmm.
It took me just everything, and now I'm like stuck, nothing to watch. I think right now I just rewatching my old shows and rewatching Archer again. Yeah, I've been watching Archer. I think it's like my fourth time rewatching it. Still find it super funny though, but and I just want they add something new.
I think it's kind of funny that even though there's so much on Netflix or Hulu or whatever, there's not much to watch, and especially because some of these things that I think, like a lot of these movies or TV shows, they're kind of like some. It depends on like your kind of mindset. If you want to watch a comedy, you're gonna go looking for a comedy. But sometimes you've seen all the comedies, or like sometimes the show is like one of those shows that only works, one time. Like it's a show that you only watch once,
Yeah,
but you
watch
never
one
really
time and
watch
then
it
you
again.
will never watch it again. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and here's one of the things though. Like our generation is like one of the first generations who, or I guess the first generation who is binge watching stuff. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be like you would wait a week to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new episode coming out, and you wait a week to watch it. But now with Netflix new shows and how Netflix is trying to like become a big part of the TV market, and they're releasing their own original series, and
Yeah.
all the episodes are released at once. I mean, and all it takes is one episode to get hooked. Because I've been hooked many times on their shows. See the first episode, get hooked. 12 hours later, just finish the season. Happened with Orange is the New Black. Happened with Impossible Kimmy Schmidt. It happened with From Dusk to Dawn. Luckily, after I finished the first season, they added the second season, so I didn't have to wait. It was just one of those lucky breaks for me. But sat down, watched the entire thing. You're a big fan of like other shows, and like me when I was in school, I didn't watch the other the shows until came to Netflix, just because I always forgot. I tried to watch them, but there was always something going on. And I always forgot to watch the new episodes. But when they came out on Netflix, boom, watch them in one day. And it's a problem though. Like it's a problem people keep having though, that people are now starting to binge watch stuff. My parents can't do it. They don't understand how I can see them Netflix all day long, episode to episode.
Oh my God, man! I feel like our generation's gonna have a big problem with hemorrhoids, because one of the ways you get hemorrhoids is if you just sit for too long, or stand for too long. So I feel like that's coming.
We have a lot of eye issue problems too, though, just because of it.
Oh yeah, man! Oh my God! I feel like my vision is getting a little worse, because I'm usually always watching TV, and it's I kind of don't like it either when I go to the gym and there's like TV monitors and I'm running on the treadmill. I mean, sure, I cannot pay attention to it, but it's hard not to pay attention to the TV, And my eyes are always like
it's there.
And my eyes are always like on are always like looking at something, so looking at a screen. So I think, yeah, and I think something pretty crazy is, Viacom, right? The company that owns Spike TV and MTV and VH1 and a bunch of other, like Nickelodeon, I think too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, a week ago, or maybe a week and a half ago, their stock actually went down 15% in one day, and before that, over the last 5 years, it went down. It had gone down 15% already. So I think this is kind of an interesting time, and like, especially for our generation, where we've been binge watch stuff and we're not very patient to just wait a week to week basis. We want everything now. I think the TV, the whole idea of how TV works, is going to change in the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Netflix is a big part of that. They're now a serious threat to cable TV.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article saying that a lot of shows for Netflix got more. There was a lot more nominations for Netflix shows and Netflix movies that they were for like sitcoms and everything.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, it's a Netflix a big problem with cable TV. It's cheaper. It's cheaper to get Netflix. I mean, I paid what, like, well, I'm still in the grandfather plan. When it was like $8, I think.
Nice.
I pay $8. Yeah, I still pay $8 because I got it when it was. I got mine
from
like
the beginning,
2 years
right?
ago. Yeah, like 2 years ago, and before they even raised the. No, I think it's $10. But yeah, I got the email and everything that told me that they were gonna.
I pay $12. I pay $12 a month.
Yeah, I got the email saying that they're gonna raise my fee by May or something. I got that like a year ago. They're like, we appreciate your service, but your fee is gonna be raised within a year. That was like last year, so it's gonna be raised here sometimes a year, which I don't mind though. But I mean, $12 to pay a month to watch TV all I want. It's awesome though.
And with no commercials, and because for some reason, okay, so I don't get this about our generation, is why the hell do you hate commercials so much? I don't get it, like, why people hate commercials so much.
Okay, see, here's the thing though, since I only watch Netflix, whenever I'm watching, because I like watching Netflix with the subtitles on, just in case I miss a joke or something. And then I caught myself doing this multiple times when I'm watching TV. Because every time when I watch Netflix and I miss something, or I'm talking and I miss a part, or I I miss a funny joke, rewind it 10 seconds to go back to what I missed.
Mm.
But when I'm watching TV, I want to do the same thing. I caught myself trying to rewind, and I'm like, crap, this is like I can't rewind it, and it bugs me though that I can't rewind like 10 seconds to go to see what I missed, or like fast forward to the commercials.
That is
I
actually
mean,
true, and I think one of the things TV tries to do, or like cables, is to introduce TiVo. But I
oh
think
my
that's
God,
pretty
Tivo.
expensive, right?
Now
It's pretty
Tivo's dead.
expensive.
Tivo died. Now it's like they did something wrong. I remember I talked to someone about this, and I remember reading the article why Tivo died. They were dumb,
But
basically.
but
They
isn't
played
it?
the cards wrong, but
But it was really
there's
expensive just to have it, right? It raised your cable bill for
yeah.
like another
But
20 bucks or
they,
something.
now like every TV company has their own like
Their
set
own
of
kind of TiVo.
yeah, their own kind of set of, yeah, where you rewind password, but that's an expensive.
Yeah, it adds
That's
like a
that's
ridiculous
something
amount to the cable.
yeah, that's something extra you gotta pay. It's a DVR. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
DVR.
DVR. There we go. Not
Yeah,
not
like
TV. But yeah,
everyone can just rewind and fast forward all this stuff, but
but it really does. It really does raise your bill a lot. Like,
yeah,
I
it
mean,
does.
it's pretty ridiculous how much it is. And I think one of the things about Netflix that's so unique is I mean, it's a really good time to be an actor. I mean, if you're an actor right now, it's a really good time because Netflix is really looking. I mean, I think they're actively looking uh
News.
for new shows, and they don't. I think they're in the position where this is the cool part about Netflix is they can get an actor like the Master of None
Masters.
show. They can get an actor like that, or their new show that just came out was, I think it's called Love.
Oh, I'm actually that's saving my list. I'm gonna watch
Yeah,
that like maybe
yeah,
tonight or tomorrow.
yeah. You get these actors, or not just actors, but directors or creative people, writers with these unique ideas for a show that wouldn't really work on like network TV because they're either you're either kind of making them too PG-13 that it doesn't really go far enough to work, or the show is kind of too much of a niche show, too much for like a certain people. It doesn't work for a general public.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when you put it
exactly.
on Netflix for people who just pay like $8-12 a month, they can easily like people that would like really gravitate to that show can easily find it on Netflix and be like, hey, this is exactly what I wanted in a TV show that none of the other shows, like none of the networks, can compete with.
There's also Amazon Prime is actually working on making more
Yeah,
more
Amazon Prime is
original
doing it
shows.
too.
Yeah, they're making trying to make the original shows. That they're really all those companies are focusing a lot on making their own original, competing with cable companies. Which I mean, cable companies are a little bit they're scared. There's like they're. I mean, Netflix is a big market part now,
I
and I
think,
mean,
and I think that's also a reason why, like, I think one of those cooking shows. I don't know what it's on, like the Food Network. Some of those shows, they like right after they air their show, like a new
yeah, they're
episode.
straight to Netflix.
Yeah, they put it straight onto their website for people to watch it. Yeah,
Yeah, no, because I mean, a lot of them. I mean, personally, a lot of college kids and a lot of young students and younger crowd, they prefer Netflix over cable. Most, I mean, I'm not speaking for all of them, but I mean, in my personally, if I'm when I was living when I was out of my parents' house, we didn't have cable. I went on like what 5 years without cable. We just watched Netflix because it was cheaper to watch, it was cheaper to get, and I mean, you get every single show you wanted there, or I mean, most of the shows were there.
and the cool part is too is like what if I had TV, if I had cable or just regular TV, had an antenna, I would have to wait at 8:30 exactly to watch the Muppets on Tuesday or Monday,
Yeah, no,
whatever.
that's the whole thing. Yeah, exactly. You had to wait for this one. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have to like wait a few months. When I was watching How I Met Your Mother, I watched exclusively on Netflix. And unless the last season was a different thing, but most of it was exclusive on Netflix. Just because I was watching it in cable, but then went to college, didn't have cable. Kind of, I tried to watch it on their website, on CBS website, but it was always a hassle.
oh my
I always,
god, they suck so bad, right?
yeah, there was always something, and I always forget about it, or I always
It's
forget an episode, and then when I remember, like, oh, I haven't seen this episode, the episode wasn't available online, so I just I just skipped it overall. I'm like, I'm done with this.
yeah,
I'm
the
gonna wait
the
until they are on Netflix. Are on Netflix.
Yeah, those network website TV players, they're either they just don't work. Like some of them just don't work. I think
And no,
they're better now, but before,
no,
but
and
back in the
no, I
day,
think it's
no.
worse now though, because back
Really?
in, yeah, because when I remember this specifically, especially Fox and other ones, they were bugging me. At first, I watched my old shows, used to watch that routine, watching my old shows every day, but then they started to get this. They started to get a little more annoying, where the only way to stream them is if you had a cable connection. So
Oh yeah,
they want you to put in your
your cable password or whatever.
password or cable identification, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you really kidding me? Like, I'm going to your website. I'm choosing not to stream it illegally because I want to support the network. I want to show I'm a big fan of the show, so I will deal with that commercials. I'm willing to deal with commercials. But then you ask me for this, like, are you kidding me? I can just go another website and stream it and just stream illegally. But I'm choosing not to, and then you're making me do this. So I'm like, I just gave up on it and just waited until they came on Netflix.
Yeah, and I think that's why Netflix doesn't really have any more good movies, because I think they're just focused
TV
on creating
shows.
their own content. But also
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
they're creating. Yeah, they're focusing a lot on that.
but also I think some of the networks probably don't want to do business with them because Netflix is essentially like putting them out of business. So why are they going to give them their best
It's
shows? Like,
it's
you
it's
know?
yeah. It's have you heard how much they were paying for the sci-fi episodes? They were trying to pay for it, like Netflix.
Oh, like 50 or $100 million, right? Something like
It
that.
was it was ridiculous. I forgot exactly what the amount was, but they were trying to get it on Netflix, and it was like
Yeah, they said no thanks.
expensive. Yeah, it was expensive for like every episode. It was something ridiculous. I gotta look that up and bring it, and I'll look that up and talk to you guys about it next week about it. But yeah, there was something with with the Friends episodes. I forgot how much they pay for each every single episode.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty ridiculous how much and I mean it's ridiculous but at the same time people are gonna want to watch it and
Exactly. I knew I was waiting for them to show up when Friends came out. As soon as Friends came out, watching on the first finish the entire series in the first week.
yeah.
And a lot of people, I mean, I saw a lot of people on Facebook posts that then can't wait for Netflix for the release of Friends on Netflix. It was a big deal.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since I don't know if they do it with the old episodes or if they do that, but they sometimes they re-up them to like Blu-ray or 1080p, and then so they're a lot clearer when you watch them for one,
Yeah.
and
Oh
also
God.
like you choose which ones you can watch. I think
Yeah.
I think one of the problems I have with Netflix is that they don't allow you to make a playlist. I don't think Hulu does either. I would love to be able to like make a playlist of shows I want to watch this episode and then this episode from another
Oh
show and then
yeah,
this episode.
no,
I think that would
not
be so awesome because
that.
sometimes go
And
ahead.
they need to add that and living Netflix playlist. A
Mhm.
category that says living like every show, every website, or every um, page that stream stuff like Amazon Prime, Hulu should have, or Netflix, and Netflix especially should have a page that says leaving soon, because there was multiple times I go back and try to watch something and it's gone.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
heads up, give me a heads up, Netflix, give me a heads up, Amazon Prime, give me a heads up, this is leaving soon, have their own category saying this
It's and I think that would
leaving
I think
soon.
that would I think that would make
And that
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
no,
No, I think that would be so awesome because not only would that get people to binge watch, because if let's say like for example, oh, you know, Friends is gonna leave next month, people would go crazy and try to watch the entire series within the next 30 days.
yeah.
If it's possible or not, they would try to do it, and that's what I think. That's what that I think that would be great. I mean, Hulu kind of does that. They don't really like say like, oh, this show is leaving. They just kind of like, if you click on the show, it says like, if it so happens that it's gonna leave, it says like expiring in 10 days or something. But
Oh no, Netflix doesn't have that.
yeah, but they do that at least. But still, yeah, that would be great to have a column that says leaving soon and to make your own playlist. I think that would really be great for Netflix, and it would really benefit a lot from it. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know. I can't. I don't. I can't. I actually can't really believe they don't even have any of those. It's like you would think they would have that by now. I mean, 2016 people, come on.
Maybe the next update will have
Yeah,
that.
hopefully, because I think it just
But
makes sense.
yeah, it's one of those things. And I know a lot of people say that, keep saying the same thing. Have that. Like leaving soon, because that would be great. Because there's some movies. I mean, it took me like forever to watch Forrest Gump because they took it. It was added. I was gonna watch it, forgot about it, add it back again. That's when I watched it.
Yeah, yeah, man. It just makes more. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way too. I think I had so many shows on my list that I wanted to watch, and I was kind of procrastinating to watch them. Which I don't even think that I should be saying it like that. Procrastinating to
It
watch
is what
them.
it is. I mean, I have a lot of stuff on my list to watch, and again, I'm procrastinated. Like
Yeah,
I go on Netflix and I see my list, and I'm like, but you know what? Let me just watch something else. No, I feel like
yeah,
it's like a homework assignment that I have to do.
yeah. And especially since you kind of know that there's no due date. There's no like
Yeah, there's a,
there's no time I have to watch it.
yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's taking me so long to watch the X Files. I've been watching that forever. Still not done with it. I mean, the middle of the season 8.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, just one more season though. It's so much.
Good luck with that.
I mean, I heard the last part of season 8 gets really good, but man, I put up with a lot of crappy episodes. I put up with a lot of good episodes. Overall, the only thing I know from this show is I love Scully. That's she's became my main
Everybody
crush
loves
now.
Scully.
Yeah, I can see why. I'm in love with Scully.
It's so crazy how in shows the main female protagonist, she always gets hotter as the show progresses. Like if the show runs for like 8 seasons, she's way hotter than she's way hotter like in the 8th season than she was in season 1. So most of the time.
I don't know. I don't know about that one though, because from How I Met Your Mother though, Lily was hotter when she was at the beginning than towards the end. I don't like what happened.
No, dude. I think she's hotter and like
I
Scully,
don't
for
know.
example. Scully, I mean, she's hot overall, but
Yeah,
Scully is way hotter at the later seasons. I feel like
she's still pretty hot, and then the new X Files. That's why I haven't watched the new X one, because I'm trying to find out the old ones. And I watched the movies already too. Well, except the only one I haven't watched is the newest one. That's the only one I haven't watched yet.
Believe or whatever X
Yeah,
Files.
that's the only one. But I can't watch it yet because I haven't finished the X Files, and I don't want to
Yeah,
ruin
I mean,
anything.
it's not very in continuity. Like it's not like I saw it without really like before I was an X Files fan. I actually watched that movie. I don't know why, but I just had the urge to watch it, so I went to the theaters and watched it. But but it's I understood everything without having to watch like the 8 seasons or 9 seasons of it
Nine
before.
seasons. 9 seasons.
Yeah, I like, but I mean, I could see that for someone that likes to watch things in order. Like I'm like that too. I don't like I like like if I go to the bathroom, I like to pause the show and then go to the bathroom and
Yeah,
come back and then pause it. I don't like letting it play and having me
and
miss something.
I put the subtitles so I don't miss anything too. I'm a big fan of subtitles, just so I don't miss any jokes or anything, any detail. And
I'm a
plus,
huh?
and on the plus side, if you hear a song you like, the subtitles gonna tell the title of the song.
Oh,
And
okay.
I have increased my playlist. Yeah, dude, yeah,
I really
that
think
works a lot. There's a lot of songs that I watch in shows, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool though. But then with the subtitles, it actually tells you the title, and I'm like, oh, now I know what song it is.
I'm a fan of subtitles for like certain shows, for like X Files or some shows like that. I'm not really big fan I mean, if it's a show that's kind of complicated like the X Files or I don't know like Law and Order, shows like that. I would put subtitles because some of the stuff gets kind of complicating and you might miss it or you might miss something. But for shows like an anime show, I mean, I kind of don't like I was watching the seven Deadly Sins with subtitles for like the first few episodes, but they were kind of distracting, so I turned them off.
No,
I don't know.
I put it for everything. I mean, because I watch TV a lot, night too a lot, so I just lower it to like super low. I can barely hear it, and with the subtitles, it just helps me out a lot. So
Well, okay. Yeah,
yeah,
you're a big subtitles guy. I'm not
yeah.
so much.
Well,
I like I like other stuff. I just like this, you know. I don't know. Sometimes they get in the way. So I mean, I think it's Hulu that's kind of terrible with subtitles sometimes, because sometimes the subtitles is lit. Oh no, I think it's also Netflix.
Netflix would be bad because yeah, there was a whole lawsuit with that.
Yeah, sometimes the subtitles, like if there's a white part and the subtitles are white, sometimes the subtitles are literally on the white part of whatever show you're watching. It's like I can't even read them. So
Not just that, but like some of the words are changed a little bit just because of the whole
yeah,
lawsuit they had.
definitely. I've noticed that. I think I was watching a show that they had cussing in it, and I didn't see it in the subtitles.
Well, I think it's a good place to like stop, and we can continue this on next week.
Yeah,
Whole
definitely.
whole conversation with Netflix. We'll have more facts by then, and probably could tell you how Netflix works better.
Yeah, definitely. So look forward to the next podcast, guys. Hope you guys are there and listening. Hopefully, we get a fan base from the UC Merced students or people from Merced or anywhere. Actually, we're not trying to be trying to neglect people, but we are kind of trying to focus on UC Merced since we're both graduate students. And kind of the last thing we're gonna leave off is we're gonna try to always end the show on a helpful hint, helpful hints for school. And since we are UC Merced students, these are gonna usually be UC Merced Central. So for my helpful hint for school is I went on an educational leave program for a year. So, but my helpful hint is if you're gonna go on an educational leave program, make sure that you go on it at the end of the semester. Do not jump into it in the middle of the semester. For one. Number two is make sure that all your financial aid, all your units are in hand. That way, when you come back, it's like you never left. So that's my helpful hint. And thank you guys for joining us. And if you guys want to email us to talk about if you want to email us so that we talk about a certain subject, you can email us at rockets05 at gmail.com. And yeah, I hope you guys liked the first podcast. Is there anything you want to say, Edgar?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
see you guys next week then.
See you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.